Hello? Jono? What are you doing here? At my house?
Caity, why do you do it?
Do what?
Why'd you link it to me?
Link you to what?
The fic, Caity, the fanfic. I haven't eaten, I haven't slept, I haven't thought about anything but Kojiro and Kaoru's dumb bet, or the both of them hiding their true feelings for one another, or Kojiro running his hands through Kaoru's hair. I took notes, Caity. We never take notes.
Welcome to the dark side. This is Jono and Caity talk about fan fiction on Infinite Minute. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Welcome to Infinite Minute, an
Welcome to
anime by
Infinite
minute podcast where we usually talk about Skate the Infinity minute by minute.
Usually.
But, today we're going to talk about fan fiction.
We are going to talk about fan fiction. We thought we'd have a little interlude between episodes.
Yeah.
And also, Jono has been reading a specific fan fiction, which we'll talk about later, and he needs to talk about it.
I need to talk about it because, I'm feeling ththings I never thought I would feel for these characters, I guess.
Well, I think, I remember back when I was first, probably on my second watch through of Haikyuu, I think I'd maybe mentioned to you that I was in a dark AO3 hole, and you were
Yes,
what's AO3? You hadn't heard
I
of
had
it
no
before.
idea. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, if you don't know what it is, please don't go there. I was like,
And
your
then I
life
went
will,
there.
I was like, your life will not be improved.
At the start of 2020, when shit started going downhill, I was like, maybe this is the time to read books. And I read one book last year, and I've probably read more fan fiction now in this one chapter of fan fiction that you've linked me than I've read books in the last 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I read half a book last year, and I listened to 2 audiobooks, and that was it. And I was like, I just hate reading. I hate reading. And then I got back into... I used to read fan fiction a lot back in 2012 to probably 2015-ish. I read a lot. And then I just fell out of it. But then, Haikyuu kind of... I ended up in a real deep hole there for a while.
Yeah.
Reading 500k word fanfics.
Wow.
And I would go out to dinner and people would be like, are you reading anything at the moment? I'd be like, nah, I don't really read. I don't really read much at all.
That would be so funny to just drop it on them, though, and be like, I've been reading fan fiction of a volleyball anime. I would love that.
Yeah, pretty wild. And then I'm actually surprised when I was reading stuff for Haikyuu, I would I'd think about, because I had written a few things back when I was back in the day.
What were you reading back in the day?
What was I reading and writing about?
Yeah, what media?
I started with a lot of Harry Potter. So the very first fanfic I read was a Dramini.
My Immortal.
No, well, you couldn't not read it. It was just there. Everyone knew about it.
That's the touchstone.
It really is.
For me. Yeah.
But the first one, oh my God, my dad is he's cleaning
Katie's dad.
He's cleaning the window right outside my room right now. I kind of want to show you.
Yeah. What are you doing, mate?
Yes, so the first fanfic I read, and this is pretty funny, it was pretty funny, it was called Isolation by Bex Chan, I still remember it.
Wow.
I remember it so clearly, sitting, can you hear that?
Yeah. Just watching.
Why does he do this every time I'm trying to record? He's just I'm cleaning for you. Hopefully be over in a second.
Here is where Jono cut out 3 minutes of audio because Katie's dad was washing the windows.
I think he's done. He's looking at me like, what the fuck is she doing? thing with a doona on it. So the first one I read was called Isolation by Betch Chan. It was Dramini, so Draco and Hermione. And I remember I hadn't really had any exposure to fanfic except maybe kind of seeing My Immortal around. And I started reading it and I was like, oh, this is good. And like very well written. And like, I hadn't really like understood what ships were, I guess, before this point. And so I spent the entire day on the couch reading it. And I think at some point I said to my sister, Erin, I was like, I think you should start reading this. And so she was on the opposite couch and we were just reading this same fic together all afternoon. And then I also got one of our other friends into reading it as well. So a few of our friends just reading it. And we were like, well, this is so cool.
Fanfic, wow.
So that was my first foray into it. And then I didn't really, I guess the weird thing is that I didn't realize like slash ships were a thing. And then I was like, why would I read a story about two men being in love or two guys? And I was like, oh, surely I wouldn't enjoy it. And I think the first one I might have read was like Draco and Harry. And I was like, oh no, I do like this.
Oh no, this is palpable.
This is palpable.
The tension, the mood. Isn't My Immortal Draco and Harry as well?
No, My Immortal has an original
it's Draco
character.
And it's Draco and the OC.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Ebony, it's like Ebony something, Ebony Ray, something. Raven, I don't know, it's just got like some crazy name like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
so. Wow, it's almost been 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
And I've had forays into Supernatural, Avengers, The Hobbit. Like I've gone through all bunch of different.
Hobbit.
What? No, Teen Wolf. Oh, Steric. Oh, Teen Wolf was like my jam for so long. I had read nearly every single Steric fic out there. So. Yeah, that was my life for a really long time.
Yeah, and it's just been on the boiler now until
I got reignited with anime. My love and passion for it.
And if there's anyone if there's any fandoms that are gonna, really get into it, it's anime fandoms, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember the first time after I told you about AO3, you went on there and looked at the Haikyuu tag and you were so shocked at how many fics there were. I think
it's crazy. Yeah.
It was like 25,000 for just
there's so much.
Hinata or something like that.
I was really surprised because I pretty much haven't thought about fanfic really much at all since My Immortal.
Yeah.
I actually studied fan fiction at uni.
Wow.
We did I think we did 1 week during a writing course on fan fiction, or it was like part of a semester's learning. We had to write a fan fiction for a class, for an assignment, or we had to write an essay about fan fiction, so we could choose because it was like a creative writing and literature course. And I ended up writing fic between Bran, Game of Thrones, and Ponyo.
What?
The Studio Ghibli movie. And it was like looking
like a
back.
Crossover.
We could choose to do like crossover or something else. So it was like Bran finding Ponyo in the God Tree like garden at Winterfell. And nothing like romantic, obviously. They're children. It was like quite like just a cute little slice of lifey type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, them just meeting up.
Oh,
but that's like the only fan fiction I've ever really written, I reckon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I found the other day? Do you remember when I wrote that story for one of our friends' birthdays and I got you to proofread it for me?
Oh my God, no.
Oh my
What? When was this?
You can cut this bit. You can cut this bit.
No, not at all.
This was years and years ago. I found it on my computer the other day and I sent it to her again. And I was like, hey, remember when I wrote you this for your birthday? It was a while ago. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. It might re-jog your memory.
Yeah.
But I remember getting you to proof it for me.
Wow. This is like how I remember the other day how we used to play World of Warcraft.
Oh my God.
It was like, it's just weird how all these memories are locked away from us.
Yeah. You don't think they're
so,
you just don't think they're important, and they just pop up.
And then I
one
suddenly
day.
remember us riding around on my rocket for 2, like around Azeroth, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did I forget this? Like, so bizarre, and helping you level up and like.
Oh my
so
god.
Weird. Anyway, Skate the Infinity.
Skate the Infinity fanfiction is where we should go next.
Yeah, so Caity linked me to Rengafic. We talked about that during some of our podcast episodes. So I was reading First Time He Kissed a Boy. There's some parentheticals in there as well. But I don't know, something about it just wasn't clicking with me.
Fair.
So then you linked me to The Gambler. And I don't know what it was about this one, whether it's like the writing style or something like that, or just the Matcha Blossom, but I basically devoured it over this last week. I haven't finished it yet, but because it's made me want to read more in general. So I've started reading more manga now. I'm thinking of picking up the second novel in the tetralogy of the one book I read last year. So like I'm just starting to read more in general because of this. But I am loving it so far.
I'm so glad. I also haven't finished it yet. I'm probably 2/3 of the way through it. So I'm taking my time with this one. I'm enjoying it a lot. And I think I do I really enjoyed First Time He Kissed a Boy, but the writing style is very different to Gambler for sure. The Gambler is probably more like something I would write and read.
Okay.
It took me a little while to get used to the writing style of First Time He Kissed a Boy as well. But it was everyone was
not
talking
to
about it.
or everything.
No. I really enjoyed it. I read the whole thing. But it did take me a moment to go, oh, okay, I just need to get used to this writing style. And I did enjoy it, but it's not for everyone.
No.
Which is fine.
Maybe one day I'll go back to it, but maybe Renga was never the ship that I was on board with anyway. Maybe it was always Matcha Blossom and I just didn't know.
Always was.
Who knows? But yeah, so
something,
as I said...
sorry to interrupt, but something really funny that happened with Matcha Blossom fan fiction over the course of the show was that in the first half of the show airing, a lot of the fan fictions were like enemies to lovers type stuff where they really didn't like each other, but then, or they were kind of like, you hate hooking up, kind of like stuff like that. And then when it got to like the second half of the show,
we just start getting the flashbacks.
Yeah, the fix suddenly changed from like this hate kind of relationship to, oh my God, they're in love. Like there was this
supported
shift
in the text.
Oh, it was so funny. Everyone just had this moment of being like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting to see that shift in a lot of the fics.
I'd love to read something that came out flashbacks and just see the difference. Because I think the person who wrote The Gambler is MooeyDooey. I was just looking through their works and everything else they've written, and they've done some stuff for like Danganronpa, Fire Emblem, like a pretty wide range of things, but things I would say have pretty strong fandoms. I didn't know Danganronpa was so big. I just played those games. Like, I talked about it in one episode of the show where something reminded me of it. I played those games, I watched the anime, and that was it, and I forgot about it. But it's huge. Like, the fandom fucking, I don't know. If you just stay off the Bird website, you don't see any of this, or Tumblr, I guess. Just stick in your own lane. Like, I couldn't imagine all the fan fiction, like, all Emily watches is procedural crime drama. I couldn't imagine if she found fan fiction.
Yeah.
She would, like...
There would be heaps for those
Die.
shows, I reckon. Yeah. I reckon there would be so much.
Yeah. So stay away from AO3, Emily, if you're listening. She's not.
It is really funny, I think, when you find a writer you really like and then you go see what other fandoms they've written for and you're like, oh, okay.
It's interesting.
Yeah, there you go. Just
maybe
somehow
I was
going to
recommend Fire Emblem to you when you said you got a Switch. I reckon you'd love it.
You're not the first person to recommend it to me, so I mean, maybe
Houses.
I will have to have a look at it.
If we weren't in lockdowns, I would just come to your house for real, as opposed to just in our fake world of doing this, and just lend it to you because I haven't really touched it. Yeah, I'd just give it to you. have it.
Chuck it in the mail.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe. But yeah, as I said in the beginning, I have actually taken notes.
I know. I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, this is probably helpful because I've been reading this fic for so long now that I kind of had to remind myself what happens in the first 8 chapters. Because you've read 8 chapters, yeah?
I've read the first 8 chapters.
I had to kind of remind myself what happened in those chapters.
Yeah, and it's a really good, like, I think there's a really good through line so far in these 8 chapters of, like, getting both perspectives of Kojudo and Kaoru. So, I guess, in summary, if you haven't read The Gambler, why are you listening to this?
Spoilers for The Gambler, everyone.
Yeah, at least the first 8 chapters, because I'm still haven't been spoiled.
Yeah, actually true, same for me.
But basically, Joe and Cherry make a bet about who is the best at dating. And it is sort of that friends to lovers thing, but there's also the running theme that they do love each other, they just hide it from each other. Yeah. And
so
like,
stupid.
I guess we'll just start with some of like the things of the form. So the first thing that got me was the music lyrics, because I wasn't reading the music lyrics to begin with, because I'm like, I don't know these songs, I don't like know anything about this. But then I was like, maybe there's something like maybe some sort of themes through the music, some sort of like foreshadowing and stuff. So is that something that's common in fan fiction? Do people usually put like song lyrics?
I think it's really
at the top?
Not. It's not like a common thing, but people do it. I have seen it on other fics as well. Especially some people will particularly take inspiration from song lyrics and include them at the top. But it's really just preference, whatever you want to do. Lots of people use song titles or song lyrics for titles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That happens in this, doesn't it? Good old-fashioned Lover Boy.
Yeah.
Which I had stuck in my head all week because I read it in this.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of people do use musicality like that in their fics, for sure.
Fan fictions. Yeah. You can tell what they're listening to.
Yeah.
While they're writing it.
I have a playlist for the fic that I'm writing at the moment. It's very angsty.
I've done it for D&D characters.
Nice.
One of my DMs made playlists, so
I like that.
For my big Western cowboy rogue, he's just got like all the like Western soundtracks.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyway, chapter 1 is basically Joe's backstory.
Flashback,
and it was really cute, yeah. He gets an umbrella from Kaoru and wants to give it back. But when they're in high school. And I have done this in real life. I left a singlet in Emily's car before we were going out. Yeah. And then it was during Boy From Oz.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I left the singlet in her car in Oliver because she used to drive me around a lot. And then we did Boy From Oz like 6 months later. And it was just an excuse to hang out again because it was like, oh, you still got my singlet, so I should get that off you.
Oh!
Yeah.
That is so cute.
And now we've been married for 4 years.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's is that like looked on as bad nowadays? Have I like...
What do you mean? Like, because you tricked her into hanging out again?
Yeah, I tricked her into hanging out. Yeah.
No, I think that's adorable.
Okay, good.
I also don't think she would have said, yeah, let's hang out. If she didn't want to. She would have just said, true. I'll just bring it to rehearsal if she didn't want to hang out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. But yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, good. I'll cross that off my reasons to be cancelled list. Okay.
M's like, I want a divorce.
I remember the singlet. But yeah, I loved the way that it was written, having like this kind of unsure and innocent Kojudo.
I know.
It was so nice.
Very cute.
Another thing that intimidated me is the word count.
Yep.
It's very long.
Yeah.
And when you look at the chapters, because I've kind of half been reading on phone and half on the website, and I have signed up for an account now, so you've got me hook, line, and sinker. And it was only for the dark theme, so I could have the black background. Yeah, like when you look at the scroll wheel on the side, and you're like, oh, those are There's a lot here.
Yeah, that's a tiny little
Yeah.
tiny little scroll thing, yeah.
It's really funny. But as you say, like 550-word haiku fanfics, like that's like a novel.
Yeah.
It's probably longer than haiku itself.
That one took me like 2 weeks to read, but that was over Christmas. So I was reading it like every day for like half the day because I had nothing else to do. It was Christmas holidays. But yeah, sometimes you just... I've worked out now that it's like if it's 10,000 words, I can read it in about...
Oh, you've got a time. I love that.
Yeah, I've kind of worked... I'm trying to think, but I think if I see 10,000 and I'm like, I've got an hour before bed, that usually like fills up the hour. Like, so I'm kind of around that point of reading things now. So if I'm like, I just want a quick one before bed, I'll like look for something between like 5 and 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's so good. And that way you just like... Yeah. Nice one.
But
That's like a chapter of manga for me.
Yeah. You know, you can like filter by word count as well. So you can say like I want between X amount of words. You can filter by tags, obviously. I don't know if you've looked at the tags, like how the tag search works. You can filter by tags. You can filter for tags you don't want to see or relationships you don't want to see. You can filter.
So what's everyone complaining about? Because if they don't have to read the ones they don't want to see.
Exactly.
I don't want to start a beef.
No.
Have to skate someone and give up my AO3 account or something. Then we get to chapter 2 of this one. And it becomes more of like the actual timeline of the show.
Yes, yeah.
Like them in present day. And I keep forgetting that they're only like 24.
Yeah.
They're basically babies.
Yeah.
But the way they're written feels so good, canon almost.
Yeah,
the bantering is really natural.
Characterization in this one is really on point, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And there was a funny bit where they're like talking about how they're being shipped on the S forum, like in world. I just very almost meta, but I loved that. But I guess that's also the relationship that like the actual English voice actors have had to all of this. Like they have got amongst it.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. They are two of the biggest. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Enablers.
And or like like cheerers. What is it? Kill me. My brain doesn't want to work.
Caity, no. I refuse.
Yeah, but they they really support it. And enable the encouragers of the
encourage
ship,
it, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did love that. I remember thinking that bit was really funny that they were getting shipped online in worlds.
And you've got that classic character moment of Kaoru mooching off of Kojiro, just showing up at the restaurant expecting like free wine, free food.
Yeah.
It's almost I guess because I'm only rewatching the show now as we're watching it minute by minute. When we get up to Joe and Cherry stuff, it's going to be so tainted. Not tainted. Tainted isn't the right word. It's going to be so like coloured in this now. Yeah. Yeah,
for sure.
It's going to be weird.
But also not even coloured by the fan fiction, just coloured by your knowledge of what happens in the rest of the show. So like when you see them like fighting in that second episode at the restaurant, you're like, oh, these guys know each other, but they're like they don't get along very well. And then by the end you're like, oh no, they're like literally best friends since kindergarten. And
like have known each other for years and have had like bad situations with Adam and so much backstory that comes in from the end, which I guess is the value of any rewatch, really, like that rewatchability and seeing stuff in a new light. Yeah.
One thing I really like about this, well, I don't even know. I'm going to say if I like it because it always makes me so frustrated, but it is pretty much the backbone of every single Matcha Blossom fic I have both read and written, is that these two are so dumb. Like, they're actually so stupid and blind to the other person's feelings that it just kind of makes you go like, I can't believe they're so stupid. Like, just talk to each other. Please just like say something to the other person because it'll clear up all of this.
I noticed where it's like they will talk a lot about the other person's feelings and what the other person's feeling in their head.
Yeah.
And then the thing that they'll actually say is like, stop coming here for free wine, you dumb idiot. And it's like, just like, what? Yeah, it's almost lampshaded a bit in this fan fiction where they're talking about like after about an hour they stopped kicking each other.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's the basis of their relationship.
Yeah.
It's like physical violence to mask their true feelings.
Yeah. But I don't know if you've got to parts of it where they say things like, oh, Kojiro only saw him as Kojiro only sees me as a friend. And it's like, oh my God, you're so stupid. Like,
You're dumb.
You're so dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb.
There's some really funny wham moments, like at the end of chapters where it's like this big reveal that it's like, oh, they love each other, but none of them know. And it's like, yes, they do love each other. They just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But I guess if they did, then it would be like,
there would be no
1,000.
story.
Yeah, it would just be pure smut.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, 1,000 words of like set up and then just let it roll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they go on. So far, I've read 2 dates. So there's the date where Kaoru takes Kojiro to an Italian restaurant. And there was a super cute moment where he gives him a knife and he's got like this list of reactions that he expects. And I love how meticulous Kaoru is written. But just the fact that Kojiro gets the knife and just like,
I know.
looks at it. And it was the first moment where I was almost a bit like, oh no, I'm feeling something. There's like tears welling up in my eyes a bit. But it was super cute.
Yeah, that bit is really, really lovely.
Yeah.
And then does it show the bit where, I'm trying to remember, I don't want to spoil anything, but he just takes it home, right? And he puts it on his...
He puts it on his bedside table.
Yeah, that's...
So cute.
It's so sweet.
So
he's
cute.
like, he never wants to use it because like...
Yeah, or he'll only use it if like if he's using it to prepare food for Kaoru.
Oh my God.
Like in their home, and it's like, oh my God.
My heart.
Is he cutting onions with this knife? Because I'm crying. And then Kojiro takes Kaoru on a date to a festival, which reminded me of so many things, but mainly, like, I think it was the last arc of... Fuck, why can't I remember the name of it? It's a Kyoani show. The girl plays Hibike Euphonium.
What did you say?
Hibike Euphonium.
Oh.
I don't know what the English translation is. I reckon you'd actually love it.
Oh, really?
As much as giving people recommendations has become my personality. It's a very Yuri mood. As in, like, the main ship, I think, is 2 girls. Oh. And it almost feels canon.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
I like the sound
and it's
of
like
this.
band stuff, but there's a bit in that where they'd go to a festival.
Oh, lovely.
The way it's written in this is really nice.
Yeah.
Like, it feels really organic and lived in, and just like the idea of them riding there on a motorbike I really love.
Yeah.
Reminded me of the Carla cycle. I love that the Carla cycle gets mentioned in this as well.
I did like the motorcycle part. I think that was cute.
Yeah. How he gets Kaoru to put his arms around him, but he can't really feel it because the thick jacket he's wearing, in case Kaoru gets too cold, is too thick, and it's just like, what's the saying? Shooting his nose off to spite his face.
Yeah.
Or cutting off his nose.
Yeah.
Why'd I say shooting his nose off? Ow. That would hurt.
Yeah, I love that part. I love the bit with the stuffed animals. All the prizes and giving them away to the children. That was so wholesome.
Yeah, but then Kaoru keeps the little tiger with the fortune. And again, that's another one of those end chapter bits where it's like, but Joe didn't know that Kaoru actually did care because he kept this specific thing. And it's like, just talk. Show him the tiger.
Yeah,
but it's the tension. It's the it's the characters and stuff like that. But that's probably like my one main like thing with it is that nobody reveals themselves. They keep it close to their chest.
Yeah. Well, it gets to parts of this fic, and again, I love it. I enjoy it where they say things that are so like it's pretty obvious like what they're trying to say, and yet they still go, oh, but no, he doesn't like me. And it's like, come on. Come please, use your brains.
But yeah, then there's the whole chapter basically set on the lake, which I really loved.
It's
was
so beautiful.
Like the way the mood was crafted, it was so evocative, and so like you could feel the closeness of them in the boat.
Yeah.
And like their isolation, like them wanting to be away from everyone else was really it just had a really nice mood. Yeah. And then the best bit so far for me is the bit where I've got the whole thing in my notes. I've just copied and pasted it. Where he asks Kojiro if they were on a real date, what would he do? And I was just like, oh no, I'm feeling things again.
I know.
But it was so good.
That bit, that chapter, the bit that particularly got me was the bit about the lanterns at the end. Floating off I think they float
with
off
the
together
wishes
or
floating
something.
Up. Yeah,
I was just like, oh, that was just stunning.
Yeah, there's the whole bit where like the gods, the two gods, are like talking to the wish.
Yeah. That's the bit. I was just remember being like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was so I don't know, creative.
Yeah, there are a lot of moments like that in this fic, I think.
Yeah,
the writer MooeyDooey uses some really cool, like, metaphorical kind of, stories or things to explain what's going on in the story, which I think are really add to it. It
has a fantasy.
Yeah, really adds to it rather than distracting from it, which I think is really clever. Really clever.
And then these chapters are kind of bookended with a Kaoru POV chapter, where he's remembering their past and stuff. And I can't remember if Joe, like, if it's canon that Joe took a trip to Italy, but I feel like if it's not, it should be.
It is.
There was a school trip to Italy.
It was one of like the post-show interviewee things with Itsumi, saying that Joe did go to study at culinary school in Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a school trip or anything.
No.
I guess that's where it's fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to separate the two.
Yeah. That was a that was a crazy day on Skate Twitter when they revealed both that Matcha Blossom were friends since kindergarten, and then also that Joe like left to go to Italy for a year to study cooking, and they were like, wow, that would have been like the first time they were away, like apart from each other for that long, and everyone was having like mental breakdowns over it. No.
That would have spoiled some stuff.
It really did.
But yeah, basically becomes like a panic attack for Kaoru.
Yeah, poor thing.
Yeah, which was really sad. And it's kind of like a sad moment to end on, because I know the next chapter, I kind of read the start of it, and it's like shadow POV, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, it's actually so good though. I remember thinking that was going to be really weird, but then when I read it, I was like, this is fantastic. It's actually so good.
Well, I feel like I'm kind of Team Shadow since we went through that whole period of us really liking Shadow before like the later moments in episode 1.
No, it's
so
good.
Maybe I'll enjoy it more now.
Yeah, it's actually... I had the same reaction. I was like, what? Shadow POV? But then after reading it, I just really was like, oh, this is clever. Really clever.
Yeah. Nice.
It's funny to watch, like see someone watch them externally and be like, what are these two people? What are they doing?
Yeah, because I guess from the outside in, it would look so bizarre.
So bizarre.
Like deciding to go on a date.
Yeah.
Just to test each other, but it's like...
Yeah.
You know why you're doing it. Neither of you want to say.
A funny thing is that Kaoru having panic attacks is pretty
common
in fics, you'll find. Present company included. And I think it definitely arose from which apparently I read the other day was a mistranslation about Cherry having anxiety.
Oh.
I read someone saying that it was actually mistranslated, and it should have more been about being a bit high strung rather than being anxious. But everyone kind of ran with the anxious thing because that's what we all were like. Oh, I'm gonna connect with Kaoru over being anxious.
everyone's anxieties encapsulated in one perfect fox boy.
Exactly. So that will be something if you decide to read more Matcha Blossom. I think
comes
you'll
up
come
a lot.
across a lot. Yeah.
That's good because everyone's anxious.
Yeah.
gives you a release.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I've read so far.
Well,
that's the minute.
Yeah.
That's
the minute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying it though. That makes me
happy.
I
am.
Yeah, I just finished chapter 19, so I'm a few more ahead of you.
Yeah.
But I've
it's 30 chapters, right?
Yeah, it's a long one.
It's quite a bit, but I do like that the chapters are like
nice bite size.
Yeah, and there's like the two, like Kaori's date is 2 chapters, Kojiro's date is 3 chapters. Like I like that it's spread over.
Yeah. It
gives it time to breathe, I guess. It is I saw one of the tags was slow burn, and I was like, this is a slow burn.
Yeah.
Like it does feel like I'm reading more of a novella as opposed to like someone's fan fiction.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. It is, I don't know. Because these, from what I've read so far, MooeyDooey could just write.
Yeah. There is a lot of, so many people like that, though. Like, so many fics I've read, I just go, I can't believe people are doing this for free.
Yeah.
Seriously, the talent. And then you read, you see some books that get published, and you're like, really? That's why I can't believe that 50 Shades of Grey, out of every fanfic they could have picked to translate it or to adapt into an actual book, they picked that.
Because it's at this Twilight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
And I remember...
I know some pop culture.
I remember when it kind of came out and really took off, and people were like, oh, have you read 50 Shades of Grey? And I was like, no, if I wanted to read, smut, I can read really well-written smut on AO3. Yeah. I don't need to read a really shit book.
50 Shades of Grey actually even sounds like a fan fiction
name
title.
It really does. Yeah, that always really blew my mind that the things you
That was the one.
That was the
chosen one.
But there are a few other ones. There's another book series, I think it's called, what's it called, Away or something. I think it's called Away, and it's Harry Styles and a reader, like an original.
Oh,
no. See, when it has your name, it's the reader is the person.
Oh,
in
like
it.
Second person.
Yeah. So they're like,
okay.
They're like, you saw Harry or whatever, and it was then they mean you, and they just put your name. It's
weird.
Yeah,
I could not imagine a second person fan fiction about Harry Styles. What the fuck? And that's been published?
Yeah, I think there's a movie.
Wow. Okay.
It's a movie or a TV show.
I've written second person smut as a confrontational thing. That was at uni as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But people could, again, I could have based it on an existing media, but I just wrote it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe everything is fan fiction, really, because everything is adaptation, but that's another track to go down.
Oh, yeah. That is a track.
That's what the course was on. It was adaptation.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Course.
Yeah, and I'm using it so much. Not. Bachelor's degree is just wasting away.
Oh boy. That's it.
What was your favorite moment?
Oh, my favorite moment.
We're so ingrained.
Of these 8 chapters, probably. I think I kind of already mentioned some of them, but the lantern scene on the lake was beautiful. Was beautiful, and the knife, giving the knife was beautiful. Yeah.
It's those moments of the love coming through. Yeah, where they both kind of realize it. Yeah, my favorite bit was the missed kiss opportunity.
Yeah.
But just Kojiro's narration of it, where he's saying he'd drink Kaori in like a man dying of dehydration. I was like, fuck. Some good shit. Me in bed with my phone light in front of my face and trying to quietly react. But yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for
good.
you to read the rest.
My introduction. Yeah, I'm excited to read the rest.
You're probably gonna overtake me.
Well, as I said, this has kind of inspired me to read more things. So I think I'm going to take it slow as well.
Nice.
So I've started reading Chihaya Furu again from where I remember being up to.
Yeah, okay.
So because I apparently have read like 100 more chapters than what comes after what's in the anime. So, and I don't remember any of it. So I've just gone back to where the anime finished.
Yeah, right.
And I'm reading a baseball isekai where a guy gets teleported to a fantasy world and they, instead of having wars, they battle with baseball. And there's so many, it's like on the cusp of like ecchi.
Oh my god.
Like smutty stuff, like there's so many butt shots and stuff, but it's actually really fun.
Have you thought about reading the end of Attack on Titan?
Yes.
I've thought about it.
I've thought about it with Haikyuu as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I already
that's what I did with Attack on Titan, because I didn't like it to begin with, and then I read the manga like up until the end of like season 2 or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking about it. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, we're 4 months away.
We're so close.
We can wait it out. But Haikyuu, I'm definitely thinking about reading.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, maybe I'll like split my time up between that and other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. If you had another recommendation, what would it be?
Or fanfic wise?
We can end on that. Yeah.
Do you want? I can recommend a really good smutty one, but
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah?
I'll open up my horizons.
I just want to wait. Let me try and. I want to say the author.
Have you been reading fan fiction while we've been recording, Caity?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
No, here we go. So I would, if you want to, check out a more explicit rated one. Sun-Kissed by Bitter Heart is really good.
Sun-Kissed
really
by Bitter
good.
Heart. All right, I'll look it up.
Again, another one where they are completely stupid.
Dumb.
But, yeah, I feel like, you might enjoy it.
Yeah, nice one. All right. We'll end on that. If you want to give us any more fanfic recs,
yes.
give them to us on infinite_minute on Twitter.
Please.
You can email us at infiniteminutepodcast@gmail.com.
We'll see you
give us the good fanfics.
For episode 2 in the next episode.
Yeah, we'll be moving on to episode 2 of Skate the Infinity, which I looked ahead and saw that we go straight into the OP like halfway through the first minute.
Oh, really?
So we'll be talking about the OP very soon again.
Yay!
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.